Territorial veterinarian Dr. Thomas Pull has been getting a lot of criticism for a comment he made on shooting stray dogs during a roundtable discussion on April 11th. However, he wants to clear the air, saying that's not what he meant. He was just talking about a few strays he considers dangerous.
One thing that I suggested was we could consider the use of lethal force on those few dogs. I'm talking about, there may be a dozen dogs like that on the island. There may be less than that. I don't know. But we sort of have these consistent complaints.
Dr. Poole says it's been hard for the Department of Agriculture's 4 animal control officers to address the public's complaints about stray animals in general, especially reports on dangerous stray dogs in neighborhoods. And if these dogs don't respond to humane traps set up by his agency, then that's a problem in itself.
If I can't get them in the trap, I can't do anything. Right. Those are the only dogs that I ever talked about we may need to consider a lethal option. A brain shot with a small caliber rifle is humane if it's done properly, but it's very difficult to do it properly. And that's why I would only consider it or suggest it as a last resort.
Pohl reiterates he never suggested shooting as a solution to the stray dog problem. He feels Guam should consider laws in other communities that require mandatory spay or neutering, but that's a decision, he says, the community must make.
I never suggested using gunfire as a solution to the stray problem. I said in the roundtable, you can't catch or kill your way out of our stray dog problem. I said in the roundtable, the only solution is Gaines' solution to spay and neuter.
Meanwhile, Guam Animals in Need President Cindy Bartle says shooting any dog, despite how vicious it may be, is not a sustainable solution.
GAIN would not be supportive of that. It's not a sustainable way of dealing with the issue. In other words, say you had a pack out there and you shot off the 3 most aggressive in the pack. The pack structure works so that 3 more are going to, or 2 more, or whatever, are going to step up and take the place of the 3 that you eliminated.
She says among the sustainable solutions recommended by the World Society for the Protection of Animals, or WSPA, is enforced legislation. A perfect example of Guam's lack of enforcement is Macon the Dalmatian. He was locked in a cage for months without food or water before being rescued, even though someone reported it to GAIN, who in turn reported it to Animal Control. To GAIN's surprise, the former owners were not issued a citation for the abuse Bartles calls horrific.
They know the owners, they know where the residence is, so it's not like they have to find who did it. And there are so many studies, Josh, that are over 20 years old that link animal cruelty to abuse of, your spouse, your child, or other violent acts. And so that's why what happened to Macon has to be taken seriously.
Bartles also questions how the Animal Control Division got their 40,000 stray dog population estimate at last week's roundtable discussion with Senator Tina Munoz-Barnes. Bartles and shelter manager Julie Grady say they don't know of any studies done to assess strays on Guam for either the Animal Control Division or GAIN. In fact, Grady notes out of the 5,200 animals taken to GAIN last year, only 973 were brought in by Animal Control. The rest were brought in by the public. Collecting data is something both say WSPA can help with when the organization comes to the island in June.
GAIN has, I'm not going to give you a figure because we have not done such a study. Okay. So I won't throw something out there when I don't know.
If you're talking about there's 40,000 animals and in 1 year, Animal Control can only manage to get less than 1,000. Obviously they need help and more resources. And I'm sure that would be part of the assessment when WSPA comes.